Hi there everyone, welcome. It's been quite a while since we've done a video, and so today we are going to do a video, quite simply. This has been made for Unifriend Jack. Hello Unifriend Jack. And what he was after was basically a door which has a master switch inside so you can lock it. So we have our button there which opens the door, and then the button here which closes the door, and then you can lock the door just by pulling that lever, and then you just pull the lever again to unlock the door. Simple as that. And I think I'll just explain to you how this works. That should probably be wise, and then we'll go to the tutorial world and build one. So if I strip away a little bit of the wall here, we have the buttons here which are both mounted on the same block, which powers this bit of redstone which comes this way into this repeater, which powers this very basic T flip-flop. So I'll just give you a quick second to look at how you build that. You have your block with a torch on it which is powering another block, and then you have dust on top of that, a block next to the torch with some dust on it, and a repeater set to two things. So you have regular, one thing, two thing, full. So you're setting it to 2. And then you have another block in front of that with dust on that, and a redstone torch. That torch activates this piston when it fires. This is a sticky piston, and that pushes this block over this torch and leaves it there, and that powers the block which powers this dust, and this dust travels all the way underneath over to this side here, and then that powers the door. So I shall just do that so you can see. So you saw that light up, which then activated the T flip-flop. As you can see, the piston has now pushed the block out and over the torch, which means that that dust is powered, and that is keeping the door open. And then we can close it from the inside just by doing the same thing. I'm wondering actually if I can press it quick enough to show you what goes on over at the piston. Kind of. Oh, there we are, look, you can kind of see it now. So look at the piston in the top left. There we are, and then it pushes the block out, and just like that. Finally, we have this little contraption here which comes from the lever. When we flick the lever, it powers the dust underneath the block, and it powers the repeater which locks this repeater. This is a new feature implemented in the most recent patch, and what that basically means, is that if the repeater is unpowered when you lock it, it will not power anything. As you can see, if I just press that button, the current travels along the wire, but the repeater doesn't activate, just like that. So that is what stops the door from opening again, and if I flick the lever, that unlocks the repeater and allows us to continue. Of course, if for some reason you do it like this, then the door is locked open and you can't close it again. So be wary of that. And the last thing I was going to show you as well, which is probably something you may want to steer away from, is pressing both things in quick succession. So button and lever. I didn't do it right. Button, lever. Basically, you will lock the repeater in the on position, and that will basically do the same thing. But that's not what you're here for, is it really? You're here to learn how to build this thing now. You know how to make a button do that, and then we know how to lock them. Let's stop waffling and go over to the tutorial world. By the way, this world is completely ruined. I made this world so long ago, and now thanks to patches, everything just looks so weird. Look at the land here, it just completely right angles all over the place. So learn your lesson, guys, whatever that lesson is. Ooh. Barp. Thank you. 5 eggs, lovely, and 2 squids. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Okay, welcome back to the tutorial world. It's been a while since we've been here, and we are going to not waste any time. Let's get going with this. So first of all I'm going to clear my inventory so that we can have a clear head, and let's begin. So you need blocks with which to build your room out of, and you will also be needing the redstone dust, repeaters, sticky pistons, torches, and a button or buttons and a lever. And I think that's pretty much it, actually. It's quite a nice and simple build. Oh, and of course, your door. You can use a wooden one if you so choose. Again, as well, also with the button, you can use a wooden button if you would like to, I think. So first of all, what you want to do is build your, basically build your doorway. So there we go, that will do right there. And you are also just going to extend the sides out a bit, and your button to activate the door will go just here. Now I will clarify at this point that I have not come up with this, and I am sure there are far more compact and easy ways to do this, but this is just what I arrived at after a little bit of tinkering. So what you do now is we have ourselves some dust right here. Actually, before I carry on with that, just going to build a little bit of the wall here as well. Obviously, you know, your room will very likely be different to what we're doing here, so just bear that in mind. So I'll just explain what's gone on here. I've just brought the wall out a bit, put a lever on there, and then that is our locking mechanism. And this is the mechanism that will that will open and close the door. So let's just dig these out. And this is as far as you go with that piece of wire. Next, what you do is dig this block out, put some dust there and a torch there. Then you place a block on top of that torch, just like that, and dig these ones out, and place a block on the side, just like that. I'm going to dig these out as well, just so you can see what's going on here. This is what is known as a T flip-flop, and that basically allows buttons to act like levers. So whereas your lever will keep things active until you turn it off, your buttons will only provide short bursts of power, as I will just quickly demonstrate over here. So if we have our lever, dust and a piston, you can see that it will stay up until we turn it off. However, if actually, didn't even get rid of that. If we have a button, it does that. It powers and then it turns off. And wooden buttons last for a lot longer than stone ones do. So here we go. They are. You can see the difference. 1, down. 1, 2, down. So you get a bit longer on wooden buttons. It's entirely up to you. Anyway, coming back here to the T flip-flop, we have this basic setup here. To complete it, you put dust on those 3 blocks, and then a repeater in there, and right-click it twice to get it to that setting. Then you place a torch on the end. Just dig out a bit more here. A torch on the end right there, and a sticky piston facing this way. Next, we are going to make the wire that leads right round to our door over there, and to do that we come 1 block away from the piston like that, and put a torch in there, go away, put a torch in there and a block there. Then all we need to do is quite simply lead the wire around to the door. Now obviously this will depend on the walls that you have in place and things like that, but we are going to do this way, and then we can cover it up with our stone wall in a second. I'm going to count the amount of blocks it will take. We should be fine, but just to make sure, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, because redstone current can only travel 15 blocks before it stops travelling. And that is pretty much that, actually. Just extend the walls and build your room however you want to build it. We're just going to Basically do this, make it a bit bigger than the one I built in the other world, and there you go, I believe. So if we press our button here, our door stays open, as you can see. Power goes through here, powers our T flip-flop, piston pushes the block over to here, which powers all of that, and then when we come inside we can just press the button again, piston retracts the block having gone through all here, and then there's no longer any power. And it works the other way, push the button, it all happens again and we can leave, and again, and it closes. And we also have our locking mechanism in here, so if we flip that, whoops, the repeater locks, press the button, nothing, unlock it, there we go. So there we are. I hope that was at least somewhat informative. Yeah, that'll be it. Thanks for watching.